Big Z Reviews. The Old Guard is a new action kind of fantasy film that premiered on Netflix this past weekend. And it is a lot of fun. You know, I really enjoyed the movie.
You've got questions, kid. I get it. I need you to get back in the car, please.
This isn't real.
I'm glad we figured this out. Yeah, you can't die. Get up. Can you please not do that again?
So this is based on a comic book or graphic novel. And this is another one where I think that I do have like the first issue, maybe the second or third, but I just never got around to reading it. You know, but I know of it. This is actually written by like the graphic novel written by Greg Rucka, and the actual screenplay is also written by him. And it mainly stars Charlize Theron and Kiki Layne. And they're probably like the two main characters. One's kind of like the old guard, the original Immortal, and the other one is like the newest Immortal, kind of like the new guard. And is directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood. And, you know, this is another film I think that was supposed to release in theaters, but with COVID was bought up by Netflix and released, you know, digitally. And I liked it a lot. You know, the action isn't as good as it maybe could have been. It's not the best action you'll see this year, probably. But, I mean, it definitely is serviceable. And, you know, I like the story. I like what it did. And, you know, I think it's just, you know, the idea is that there are these group of immortals that try to, they act kind of as mercenaries, but they try to do good in the world, you know, with all the extra time that they have. But then now this evil corporation wants to try to harvest their immortality to try to make other people live longer. Of course, you know, they never explain how the immortality really works, except they say that one of them has had kids and none of them had the immortality. So I don't know how they would do that. And also too, there's some twists with some stuff, and I wish they would have the actual main bad guy. He was actually, I think he's played by the guy the one Dursley. The cousin of Harry Potter. But, it's just kind of over the top. At the same time, they don't push it enough. But, he's a pharmacy, they're making drugs to try to extend life. And they do a little bit of how it won't be cheap or something like that. But I think they could have pushed that more if they wanted to make him more evil. And it also doesn't make sense because some characters work with this guy to try to help capture the immortals. And it's obviously, if this guy does figure out how to, make humans live longer, there's going to be a cost to it, and only the rich are going to be able to live longer. But they never really addressed that at all. But, I like, that they have Kiki Layne is the new immortal, and she's in Iraq or Afghanistan, and she's killed. And then they got a soldier, and then she doesn't die, and then Charlize Theron has to go in there, kind of kidnap her. And a lot of the setup for that is really well done. They're really good. And I like Charlize Theron. All of the action with her is really good. There's a great plane scene with her. There's been some really cool different scenes. But I think sometimes the action, they hide a little bit. And two, I mean, it is she has an axe. And a lot of the action just boils down to a bunch of faceless mercenaries, with body armor and helmets on so they can reuse and stunt people. And that they just kind of bang, 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 kill, and they slice and they kill them all and I wish that if they're going for an R rating and they have an axe and swords and shit, if they would have actually had more gore. But it's not really gory at all. The only gore is more related to when they showing the immortals healing, and that some of the stuff is worse. But some of the healing stuff looks really good. How they did the CGI and mixed it with the real footage of the actor. They did a good job with that For I can't imagine its budget was too high. I know this is like a over 2 hour movie. It's a little bit over 2 hours. I didn't really feel it, but I think it definitely, some parts it drags a little, like between the action scenes. And I know they have to do like the info dumps and the exposition explaining, how the immortality works to Kiki Lane. It was just some of those times it's just a little heavy-handed, like a little like I think it could have done better. But at the same time, you had to kind of explain it, and having a new entry character is a good way to explain it. But I think it drags it down slightly in those times. But it does kind of set up for a sequel, and I think the villain in the sequel will be more interesting than the villain in this one. So I mean, it's tough. If Netflix wants to pay for another one, I think that it would be great to see a sequel. It's this stuff they don't have a box office, but I'm sure they can look at how many people watched it and they see if it's worth to do it a sequel. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It's kind of tough. I mean, for like when I watch a Netflix film at home, I think I'm more likely to be like not like as critical of it just because I watched it at home. I didn't pay to go see it in theaters. But I think this movie would have been good in theaters too. But I think if I give like an 8.25 or an 8.5 out of 10, I definitely would recommend it if you have Netflix. But thanks for watching. You should go over to the playlist on my head and subscribe to me Z over there. Thanks. This has been a Big Z movie review. Thanks for watching.